Okay, so this is crazy, guys, because I mentioned that I am in the season of marital breakthrough where God called me in the season of marriage, and I've been going through a lot of collaging, and also God has been sending His promises to me. Honestly, one of the promises is marital breakthrough. So, back in February, I started fasting and praying about this burden in my heart about wanting to get married and about a certain someone, and God has been talking to me a lot using Malachi 3 verse 1. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, whether it's Malachi or Malachi. I honestly don't know, but God has been sending this to me, and chapter 3 verse 1 says, "Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple. Even the messenger of the covenant whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, said the Lord of hosts." Like, isn't that very, very promising? So, when God sent this to me, like, in the context of praying for a husband, he's telling me that he will send me his messenger. And as a follower of Christ, in the end of the day, we are all minister of the gospel. That makes us a messenger of the gospel and the messages of God, right? And all of us kind of prepare the way for the Lord. So that's how I read it. So basically what God is telling me, that my husband is coming, and he's definitely a Christian or someone that is serving God, right? And the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple. So we can read this so many ways, but the way I understand it, just in the particular context of what I'm praying about, is, Sarah called Abraham Lord. So a husband is someone that you can also call your Lord. And I seek my husband, and it says here, he shall suddenly come. And God has been sending me a lot of Joel 2:25 too, where it says that God will restore what the enemy has stolen, or God will restore the years to you of what the enemy has stolen. Sorry, just 1 second. Okay, so, and even the messenger of the covenant whom you delight in. And for me, I don't know, God can literally send me a messenger before my husband, but we both agree that we don't see the significance of that. So in overall, I'm just reading it as God will send me a Christian husband. I seek him, and just calling him Lord, just like how Abraham called him. Oh, sorry, Sarah called Abraham Lord, kind of imply that we're talking about God sending me a husband in here who is a Christian, and this man will just suddenly appear out of nowhere. And there's a big word of knowledge from God that was spoken to me internally, and also through some friends, Christian friends, that kind of somehow prophesied that this man will come to the church. And it's just so assuring that the verse ended with, "Behold, he shall come, said the Lord, and I will delight in this guy." And then, so that was back in February and March, and God still keeps sending me that verse around until June, like until last month. And then today, I met few guys, but it's hard to say if they are the one, because like I mentioned in my other video, I was led to believe that someone else is my husband. And when I was like asking God about a certain someone, and I was right now in the beach, so I did not go through my normal passages to read. I said, "Holy Spirit, lead me about this certain situation. What are you trying to tell me about this?" Then God led me to Luke chapter 7. I was like, "Oh, that's weird." But you know what? I asked God for this. I'm just gonna follow the leading on the Holy Spirit. So the verses that stand out to me here in Luke 7 is in verse 13. This is like, I think, a story of a widow mother whose son has died, and then Jesus said, "Weep not." And I've been weeping a lot lately just because I'm confused. I met someone, and I don't think he is the one, and I'm also still confused if the previous guy was the one. So I was also in this very much of a season where I'm asking God, like, "God, is this the one? Like, or am I looking for another husband?" Because my understanding is you will bring this husband to my church, but if this guy is not the one, then I should go back to where I started. That means I'm gonna have to ask God where I should look for my husband, or where I should go to be found by my husband. And I was thinking of going to another church at this point to just expose myself out there and all these things. But God kind of reminded me about the Malachi 3, because in Luke 7 from chapter 19, this is the part where John sent two of his disciples to Jesus, and they asked, "Art thou that shall come? Should we look for another one?" Although obviously this verse is implying whether about John the Baptist asking if Jesus is the Messiah, but it's resonating so much about my situation, because I was just asking God, like, is this my husband? Should I look for another one? Should I go to another destination? Where should I go? Where should you lead me, Lord, to find my husband or to be found by my husband? And I met someone and I asked if this is the one, and this is the same question, like, art thou he that shall come, or should I look for another? Right? It's very clear in Malachi chapter 3. God said that he will send me a husband. And then fast forward, right, he talked about the signs and the miracles that Jesus did to prove that he is the Messiah. For this one, I have to look into this because I just got this revelation right now. Honestly, I did not get a lot of confirmation that this guy that I met is the one. And honestly, I don't think he likes me. So there's still a lot of confusion here, but I'm just putting this out there like a documentary and just how awesome is God when he talks to you. Then another verse that stand out to me is verse 27. It says, "This is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee." Which is like very much just like in Malachi 3, because this is what God said, "Behold, I will send my messenger and he shall prepare the way before me." Right? So guys, it's crazy. So one thing is for sure, I know I'm gonna get married, and once my husband is here, it's gonna be fast, and God answered my prayer, because initially I was in this place where I feel like it's so desolated. I've been here in Canada for 6 years and I haven't really dated, and it's just like no one here really falls into place of my dating preferences, my dating category. And I hate dating website, okay? So for me, this is like a place of desolation. So I really had to fast and pray for God to give me direction on where to go if I have to move somewhere to found a husband or to be found by my husband. If the guy I met last year is my husband, which seems like not, because we're not talking and I have moved on from him. And then God kind of started sending some new people at my church, and I started liking some of them, which is like quite a progress, because before, for the first 6 years, I cannot like anyone. I don't like anyone, but now God has opened my heart to start actually opening. I don't know, to start liking new people. And the funny thing are, they're new people. They're not the people that has been attending the church for a while. So that's also a progress. It's kind of give me hope that what, I really don't have to think about moving somewhere to expose myself out there. It's God can make a way. God can bring the husband in here. In this season too, the Bible story that stand out the most is, when Abraham was about to sacrifice Isaac. All Abraham has was faith that God will either provide the sacrificial lamb, or God will revive Isaac if he sacrifices it. But what he didn't know is, as he is going up the hill, on the other side of the hill, or all the wilderness, God has already sent the lamb for the sacrifice. So what I'm hearing here is, even though I don't see, if I look anywhere and I feel like I'm not seeing a potential husband, God is already actually have a lamb for me, and I'm about to see it. Thank you, Jessica. I love you. So that's all what I want to share, guys. Stay tuned. Bye.
Oh, I thought you were FaceTiming someone.